There is a hidden truth in every battle, every pain, and every storm you've walked through. We often cry out for peace, but God allows storms not to destroy us, but to develop us. He is more interested in who we become in the fire than who we appear to be in the calm. Because before God sends you to the battlefield, He first trains your hands for war in the wilderness of storms. What feels like a breakdown is often a divine setup. Sometimes we find ourselves asking God, why am I going through this? Why is everything falling apart? But in those very moments, heaven is silent not because God has left us, but because He is working more deeply than we can see. Storms are not signs of rejection. They are signs of refinement. They don't come to destroy. They come to develop. What we think is chaos is often the very classroom where God trains His warriors. He is not punishing you. He is preparing you. Adversity is God's training ground. He allows trials to shape the warrior inside of you. You're not being crushed. You're being carved. Every great man and woman of God had to face a storm before they were ever trusted with a calling. Joseph was thrown into a pit before he ever touched a palace. David was hunted like an animal before he ever wore the crown. Jesus faced the cross before the resurrection. There's always a process, and the storm is a critical part of it. It is in the struggle that we learn strength. It is in the darkness that we discover the power of the light. What you thought would break you is actually equipping you. The betrayal is teaching you discernment. The delay is teaching you patience. The heartbreak is teaching you compassion. The silence is teaching you how to hear God's voice above the noise. That storm isn't wasted. God uses every drop of rain, every gust of wind, every strike of lightning to chisel you into who you were always meant to become. In the middle of the storm, we're tempted to believe God has abandoned us. But that's the lie of the enemy. The truth is, God is never closer than when you feel most alone. Like a master blacksmith, He puts the blade in the fire, not to destroy, but to make it stronger. And every time the fire roars hotter, it means the weapon is getting closer to completion. What you're walking through is not punishment. It's preparation. God is giving you muscles in the spirit. He's teaching your soul to endure, your heart to trust, and your hands to war. You'll come out of this storm not just with survival, but with strategy. Not just with a testimony, but with authority. You'll have scars, but they'll shine with the proof that you've been through the fire and came out gold. So don't give up. Don't despise the storm. Embrace it. Lean into it. Let God finish what He started. Because the very thing the enemy sent to break you, God will use to build you. And when the storm passes, you won't just be standing. You'll be stronger, wiser, and ready for the next level of purpose. The storm is temporary, but the warrior God is building in you will last forever. Before David ever stood before Goliath, before the cheers of a nation rang in his ears, before the crown touched his head, there was a field, a flock, and the quiet battles no one saw. It was there. In the solitude of obscurity that God was preparing him. Not in the spotlight, not on the battlefield, but in the hidden place. Because true preparation happens in isolation long before the elevation ever comes. God is a God of process, and His most powerful work is often done behind the scenes when no one is clapping and no one is watching. It's easy to celebrate the moment of victory, but very few know the price that was paid in private. We often want the promotion, the process, the crown out the cross, the spotlight without the silence. But God doesn't work like that. Before He brings you before people, He first brings you before Himself. He strips you of the noise, the applause, the distractions, until it's just you and Him. That's where identity is forged. That's where trust is tested. That's where warriors are born. God knew David could down a giant because He had already watched him take down a lion and a bear. Those weren't random tests. They were training. Every hidden battle David fought was preparing him for a greater one. If he had failed in secret, he wouldn't have stood in victory in public. That's why we must never despise the lonely places, the hidden seasons, the prayers that seem to echo, because in that space, God is sharpening you for something greater than you can imagine. Isolation is not punishment. It is preservation. It is there that God removes the clutter from your soul and teaches you how to hear His voice. It's in the quiet fields that character is shaped, that motives are refined, that pride is crushed. Elevation without preparation is dangerous. But when God hides you for a season, it's not to reject you, it's to protect what He's developing in you. You may be in that place right now, unseen, uncelebrated, misunderstood. But don't lose heart. Go is not wasting this season. He's building the foundation for the destiny that's coming. He's putting steel in your spirit. He's preparing you not just for blessing, but to carry the blessing without it crushing you. He's teaching you how to war in silence so that when the noise comes, you won't be moved. When the time is right, God will bring you out of the cave and onto the battlefield. He'll open the doors that no man can shut. And when you stand before your Goliath, you won't be afraid because you'll remember the secret place where God proved Himself faithful. You'll face the future with confidence because you were faithful in the unseen. God doesn't rush greatness. And the delay you feel now is not denial, it's preparation. Trust it, honor it, because the warrior God is forming in secret will one day shake nations. So if you're in the middle of a storm right now, don't fear it, don't curse it, don't run from it. Stand in it. Learn from it. Fight through it, because that storm you're facing, it's not meant to kill you. It's meant to crown you. God doesn't waste pain. He doesn't allow storms without purpose. He's preparing a warrior, and that warrior is you.